I've seen so many women whose doctors don't tell them this. How are you not going to tell someone if you go on this drug, you have to be on it forever? My name is Rachel, and I'm the founder and CEO of MindStrong, where for the past almost decade, we have been helping peri- and postmenopausal women not just lose the weight, not just keep it off for life, but most importantly to me as an educator, be in the driver's seat because they understand those magic words, the why and the how. Someone pointed out to me recently, I always use the expression, when it comes to GLP-1s, I 0 out of a, and they directly quoted me, 0 out of a gajillion recommend. And they pointed out that I don't usually get deep in the weeds about why I 0 out of gajillion recommend a GLP-1. So that's what we're going to do in today's episode. We're talking about why I 0 out of a gajillion recommend going on a GLP-1. Check it out. So I want to start with a disclaimer. GLP-1s were created for diabetes. So blanket statement before I get into this today, if your doctor has prescribed you a GLP-1 for diabetes, always listen to your doctor. My job as an educator, I believe, is to tell you the pros and cons, and then you have to make an informed decision for you in your life. End of disclaimer. Let's move on. All right. There are 3 reasons and then a bonus 4th reason why I 0 out of a gajillion recommend a GLP-1. Reason number 1, and this is one of, I don't even want to say one of the bigger ones. They're all one of the bigger ones, is you are not just losing fat when you go on a GLP-1. One of the reasons that you see that scale go down so quickly is, as we know, a scale does not just measure fat. You are losing bone density and you are losing muscle mass. Now, let's make the problem worse for a second here. Menopause, which you know if you've been following this podcast for a while, menopause is a time of life where we already naturally lose bone density and lean muscle mass at a significant rate. So now, if we go on a GLP-1, which is not just pulling fat from our body, it's also pulling from muscle and bone. We're taking what's already an issue and exasperating it is the word I'm looking for there. I'll tell you one of my favorite is a weird word there. I'll tell you a story about this that I think is very powerful. We, as of the time I'm recording this, we have a coach in MindStrong named Coach Shay. And Coach Shay, like many of our coaches, not all of our coaches, but a lot of them, and it's one of my favorites, is a former Ignite member. A lot of times women go through this program, they're like, holy cow, this changed my life. I want to shout from the rooftops how much it changed my life. And then they go on to go through thorough training and practice and blah, 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 and eventually become a coach for us. So that was Shay's story. This program changed her life so much, she went on to become a coach. When I sat down with Shay, when she was, and I think we have a past episode with the interview of Shay. If not, it'll be coming out soon, depending when this launches. But when I sat down to interview Shay, this was her story, okay? Not just Shay's doctor, but Shay's naturopath told her, I don't know how else women can lose weight in menopause besides a GLP-1. Now, thankfully, Shay had done her homework and she had heard that GLP-1s aren't just fat loss, it's bone density, it's lean muscle mass. So Shay made a deal with her naturopath. She said, look, I will go on it for a month, and I'm going to get what's called a DEXA scan first. A DEXA scan measures your bone density, measures your muscle mass. She's like, I'm going to do that first. I'm going to go on the GLP-1 for a month. I'm going to measure it again. And if I don't like the direction in which we're trending, I'm out. So she did. She got her DEXA scan, went on the GLP-1 for a month. After 1 month, not 6 months, not 1 year, 1 month, she got another DEXA scan and could already see the downward trajectory, went off of it, found MindStrong, healed her metabolism, changed her life, became a coach. So core takeaway for any human being on a GLP-1, it is not just fat, it is also lean muscle mass and bone density. And just to make the problem worse, to add fuel to the fire, menopause is a time of life where we're already losing those things. We don't need to be making it worse by taking drugs. Real quickly, before we keep going in this episode, we are talking a lot about metabolisms in menopause in today's episode. So I want to offer you a chance to deepen your knowledge. If you haven't yet checked out my free workshop, How to Fire Up Your Metabolism in Menopause and Beyond, it is one of my go-to favorite pieces of content that I have out here in the interwebs. You can use the link in the show notes below or go to mindstrongfitness.com and you'll get a cute little pop-up that'll get you straight into the workshop. Now, let's get back to the show. Thing number 2. of the gajillion reasons why 0 out of a gajillion recommend GLP-1s. You are overriding your metabolism. So can we fix it on the other side? Yeah. And the hole has gotten much deeper. The climb out is much further. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say that, like many of the women who come to us, we see that you're eating 1,200 calories a day. Okay, now if you're listening to this instead of watching, my hands right now are like maybe 6 inches deep in a hole. We can stop the bleeding. We can start the healing. The sooner we do it, the better. We can get your metabolism better at burning calories, get it back on fire. When you go on a GLP-1 and you are overriding your metabolism, your body does not know how to give hunger cues anymore. I'm going to go down a quick rabbit hole here. 90% of the women who come to us who are under eating, we've never have I ever heard, Rachel, but I'm hungry all day, right? If you're eating 1,000 calories a day for a prolonged period of time, we have sensors in our brain and body whose sole job is to communicate hunger. Those sensors shut down. So crazy as it sounds, in our world, here's the whole point of this, in our world, we celebrate hunger. Because when your hunger sensors start coming back online, that is a glaring neon light that your metabolism is coming back online. So when you go on a GLP-1 and you are overriding all of that, you're overriding your metabolism, you're overriding your hunger sensors, right? We have taken what was a 6-inch hole. Again, we're going to call it a 6-inch hole if you're eating whatever, 1,000, 1,200 calories. And you have made it 6 miles deep by overriding your metabolism with this drug. You cannot pay attention to your body's cues anymore because there are no cues anymore. I cannot tell you how many women have come to us and they're like, Rachel, like I went on a GLP-1, I lost 20 pounds, I gained back 60. We're going to talk about that, and spoiler alert, coming up. And now like my body is all over the place. Like I don't feel hungry, and then I'm starving, and then I'm not hungry again. And like, I can't get a grasp on things. It's fixable. It takes a heck of a lot longer. If you are someone who values efficiency like I do, if you're a person who's like, get me from point A to point C as quickly and efficiently as possible, the quicker, more efficient route, and I know that sounds weird because we know GLP-1s work quickly. I'm talking about long-term health of your metabolism. The quicker, more efficient route is to stop the bleeding, meaning stop undereating, heal your metabolism, and then be done with this on the other side. Which leads us to number 3. So number 1, you're going to lose bone density and muscle mass. Number 2, you are overriding your metabolism. You cannot listen to body cues anymore. It takes a long time to get that back on track. Number 3 is you have to be on it forever. And this one crushes my soul because I've seen so many women whose doctors don't tell them this. How are you not going to tell someone if you go on this drug, you have to be on it forever? If you go off a GLP-1, it is not a question of if you will gain the weight back. It is a question of how much will you gain back. And inside Ignite, we do office hours where I lead, and it's a smorgasbord of questions from the community. And we were talking about this the other day when the person brought up the fact that I don't usually define why 0 out of a gajillion. And someone chimed in the comment box and was like, before I could even get to number 3, I said, my husband's a doctor. What they don't tell you is, not that her husband didn't tell, but what a lot of doctors don't tell you is you have to be on it forever. Her husband was one of the ones telling people that. Thank goodness. This is just the truth of the drug. It's designed that if you want to keep the weight off, you are on this drug forever. When you go off of it, again, not a question of if you'll gain the weight back. You will gain the weight back. And it's not usually just the same amount of weight. The number of women that have come to us, we always start with a free strategy session. And in those strategy sessions, we hear, yeah, I lost 40 pounds really quickly on a GLP-1. And then I gained back 60. And then I gained back 80. Well, I'll take you back to number 2. Of course you did, because you overrode your metabolism. Your body does not know how to burn calories anymore. And now, again, that 6-inch hole is 6 miles long. We got work to do. This is why when I say the quickest, most efficient way, right? I'm not saying the quickest, most efficient way to lose weight. GLP-1, you're going to lose weight a lot faster. And as we know, it's not just fat, it's bone density, it's lean muscle mass. When I say quickest, most efficient way, I mean to have a metabolism that's good at burning calories, because that's what we need for weight loss. And the quickest, most efficient way to do that is to heal your metabolism, stop the bleeding, start the healing. Now, bonus little 4th one here, and the bonus is a weird word because this is awful. When you're done listening to this podcast, watching this video, wherever you're taking this in, go Google GLP-1 lawsuits, and your jaw will be on the floor. And I I would place my life savings that this is the tip of the iceberg. The gastrointestinal issues people are having, vision loss. What? The issues that are coming up now around lawsuits with the long-term effects of GLP-1s are so scary. In that same office hours, I mentioned this is such, like, it's one of those things, it's not funny, but like the way the person wrote the meme was funny. I saw this meme that said, going on a GLP-1, not for weight loss, but for the class action suit that's sure to follow. And again, funny, not funny, because it's not funny because it's real and it's now starting to come out. And again, I would place my life savings that this is tip of the iceberg. It is so dangerous for you when you're using it for the wrong things. And I'm going to call the wrong things weight loss. Again, you have to do what feels good for you and what your doctor says. So you hear me say a lot, if you are already eating low calorie and not losing weight, as someone who does not like to be an A, B, black or white kind of person, it's an A or B conversation. If you already are eating low calorie and not losing weight, there are two paths. That's it. There's no option C. The day there is, and it's healthy and it's sustainable and whatever else, you hear me say it a lot, I will be throwing elbows to be front of the line. It doesn't exist right now. The two paths, if you're already eating low calorie, not losing weight, are heal your metabolism, meaning meet your body where it is, and we are going to slowly, as your body tells us it's ready for more, increase those calories. We call that a healing stage, in the name of training your body to a higher maintenance, so that the old rules of eat less, move more, go back to working. If you're listening to that and your eyes are glazing over and you look like a deer in headlights, I have a whole 5-part series that we talk about that weight loss cycle, as we call it, in depth. There's countless episodes all about that healing stage. It'll make more sense. You can dive in deep there. That's option one, is heal your metabolism. It's slow. It's tedious. You never have to do it again for the rest of your life. Option two is a GLP-1. Which, say it with me, I 0 out of a gajillion recommend. Now we know why. Number one, you are not just losing fat, you are losing bone density and lean muscle mass, which we are already losing at an alarming rate in menopause. Number two, you are overriding your metabolism. So on the other side, not only will you gain the weight back, you will gain back even more, getting into number three, that you have to stay on it forever. And your body has no idea how to burn calories anymore because it's reliant on a drug. And number three, what we just said, you have to stay on it forever. If you ever go off of it, it's not, will I gain the weight back? It's how much. It's not going to be the same 20 pounds you lost. It's going to be 40, 60, 80 onward, because your metabolism doesn't know what it's doing. And the worst bonus that's ever existed, number four, as we're wrapping up this episode, go Google lawsuits GLP-1. It is heartbreaking. It is shocking. And again, I believe it's the tip of the iceberg. So all that to say, if you trust your doctor, listen to your doctor, do what feels good for you, and GLP-1s are not necessary for weight loss in menopause. And I want to shout that from the rooftops, because the fact that there are naturopaths in the world saying that, oh my everything, a GLP-1 is not necessary for weight loss in menopause. What we need to do is heal your metabolism, meaning get it better at burning calories. Yes, it's a slower process. Yes, it can feel a bit tedious. When you do it once, that's it. You have a metabolism that's on fire. The old rules of eat less, move more, go back to working. We can stop ruminating about this. We can live our life like a normal human being. And best of all, we're not reliant on drugs.